Things like never leaving home on a Saturday for a long journey, or never coming back home to meet family on a Tuesday, right? Till the time superstitions remain funny and harmless, it's okay. But then when they cross the line, they cross the boundaries, and then they cause dire consequences. That's when we all really have to say, okay, let's put a stop to this right now.
Rocking Mama to Real Mama, Mamta B.
In an earlier episode, I talked about superstitions, about their logic, about how illogical they were, and how it is so ingrained at the back of our minds. And it's a habit that we just can't truly shake off. I got a few messages from the people who watched the show, and they sent in little messages about their superstitions that they follow in their homes. And it's so relatable to all of us. Things like never leaving home on a Saturday for a long journey, or never coming back home to meet family on a Tuesday, right? Not being allowed to buy anything new on a Monday. Someone mentioned that every time their hands accidentally touched the throat, the neck, you had to blow on the fingers, like, do you remember doing that? I remember banging my head onto somebody and had to do it again because we did not want to be enemies. Someone also mentioned not handing over raw eggs or raw chilies to somebody on the hand because it means it'll cause an argument. Doing that would cause an argument. My father would never allow us to leave the house 3 people at the same time. Not allowed. He would either go outside the gate and wait or make one of us go outside, but 3, unlucky. And also no empty vessels outside seen as you walk out the gate, because you're heading out on a mission, and empty vessels, they could signal bad luck. So all of these superstitions basically are done to ward off negative energy. And that's great because, if you can do that without it costing you anything or without hurting anybody in the process, why not? Till the time superstitions remain funny and harmless, it's okay. But then when they cross the line, they cross the boundaries, and then they cause dire consequences. That's when we all really have to say, okay, let's put a stop to this right now. I don't know about countries around the world, but in Nepal we have a few of these superstitions linked with religious, cultural beliefs that has really, really violated basic human rights. Let's talk about child marriages for one. It's not prominent here in the city, in the bigger provinces, but in rural areas, you still have them. Young girls below the age of 15 being married off. Of course, the reasons are definitely due to poverty, lack of education. But then again, there comes a time when superstitions and beliefs come in between, and families believe they will go to heaven if they can marry their daughter off before she starts her menstruation. I looked up some data to see if this is still very much a prevalent thing in rural areas, and even till now, 6 to 8% of girls are married off before the age of 15. As a woman, as a mother, having a daughter, issues like this, it really tugs at your heart, because here we are trying to do as much as we can to make our daughters, our sons, bridge the gap between the two genders and, give them the choice to do what they want to do, pursue whatever they want to do. Here we still have pockets in Nepal where children have absolutely no rights, especially young girls. The other thing that arises from superstitions and beliefs is witchcraft. Now, in villages where there's no proper access to education, to being aware about all of these issues, you have the dhami, the jakri, the shamans who take the law into their hands, and they take the supreme power to decide who is the one who has violated the law. And they act as a judge, they act as the lawyer, they give the rulings. And the ones who are always the victims, if you realize, are always older people or they're women. And if it was just sitting down there and talking about these issues and saying, okay, you did this and maybe you should repay back this much amount. No. In many, many places, they are tortured. They are physically beaten. They are, publicly shamed. They're made to walk around naked. They are wounded. And we're talking about elderly people, uneducated people, and we're talking about women. So where is the justice in this, right? Why and who has given them the power to take law into their own hands and to punish people in such a way that sometimes it has even led to death? Last but not the least is the menstruation exile, the chaupadi. Why are women till today being isolated in inhumane conditions just because they are going through their menstruation? The belief stems from the fact that we are supposed to be impure during these few days of menstruation. So you're supposed to stay aside, you're not supposed to touch anybody, you're not supposed to, mix with family. But does that mean you have to be put away into a situation, put away into a shed where there is, no light, no proper food, no proper hygiene? Recently, you have seen in the news, there has been so many issues regarding chaupadi. Now, all of this is again arising from superstitious belief. Whatever makes anybody think that we are impure during menstruation. All of these practices, they truly undervalue the basic rights of a person, of a woman, of a girl. They have to be completely eradicated, put a halt to right away. The physical and the psychological trauma that people are put through, that women are put through, that young girls are put through, is beyond ethical. At a time when we all should be working together to bridge the gap between genders, to bring about equality between men and women and all the other members of the society, these are instances and these are beliefs and superstitions that actually divide the community, that actually divide the gender gap. So while consciously, unconsciously, we talk about superstitions and how we follow these weird, odd habits, chasing bad luck away, bringing in the good luck, and all of these things, it's fair and fine, till it comes to a point where it pushes against everything that we stand for. There has to be a safe boundary between the two, where, the jokes aside, the funny things aside, and then when it leans a little bit more to the serious issues in the name of superstition, in the name of belief, in the name of religion, this is where we as a responsible citizen, we have to put our foot down and say, no, enough is enough.
Hits FM 91.